Hello, welcome to our screencast that will teach you how to navigate a module on Bodies and Structures 2.0. So Bodies and Structures 2.0 is made up of 17 self-contained modules. One way to think about these is as if they were chapters in a book. There's lots of other ways to think about them, and the rest of our screencasts will show you how to do that. But for this, we'll just talk about how to navigate a module as an independent entity. So we're going to start today on the main page of the Bodies and Structures 2.0 site. You'll see it here. And if you're anywhere else in the site right now, you can just go to the banner on top of your browser. Here I'm in full screen mode, and click on the title of the book, Bodies and Structures 2.0, and that will take you to this page. Once you're on this page, let's go ahead and click the blue button here that says Begin with Main Menu. Now we're in our main menu. Here's the guided tour, which is how you found the screencast. And then we'll scroll down just a little bit to the first item here, which is the list of modules. We'll hit the blue Continue button. So now we're at our list of modules, and you can see the titles as I scroll. I'm going to take us down to a module called Borders and the Liminality of the Japanese Empire by Hiroko Matsuda. And here we are. So I'll click Continue to enter her module. All right, here we are on the first page of Hiroko's module, which we call the landing page. And I want to first point out a couple of features of how pages and pathways and modules are organized within Bodies and Structures 2.0 and within books produced on the Scalar platform more generally. So everything in Scalar is a page, and these pages are organized or can be put into relationships, into different kinds of relationships. One of the most easy to grasp relationships is called a pathway, and that's when you link one, two, or more pages together in a linear relationship, so that at the bottom of the page, the reader can click a blue button that takes them simply to the next page in the story. Pages are also, all of these relationships are organized hierarchically at the same time. So you can see here we are on the first page of Hiroko's module, and we got here from the modules pathway, right? So the modules, it says modules right up here above the title, and you can click on modules to take you one level up in the book's hierarchy. And so I've clicked on modules, and see it takes us back to where we were before the list of modules, and I could click on main menu. That would take us one step up, right? And I could click on the title of the book to go all the way back to the beginning. This is not the same as a back button. The back button takes you to the page, the previous page you were at, which may not be the one page up in the book's hierarchy, right? So let's go back down to Hiroko's module, and I'll show you how this works in practice inside her module. So let's say we've read this first page, which we would do slowly and carefully if this weren't a screencast. And now we're down here and we can see the contents of this module. So this page is linked in a pathway relationship to 4 subsequent pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the page prompts us to start at the page that Hiroko has designated as the next one in the series, the next one in the pathway. So we'll go ahead and click on it. It's called From the Sinocentric Order to the Nation-State System. What I want to show you down below is that here we see that this page is also the beginning of its own pathway. So we could learn more. We could keep reading through the pages in this pathway to learn more about the history of Yaeyama moving from being part of a Sinocentric order to being part of the order, the modern order of nation-states. Or we could actually continue to the next page or the next pathway in the overall module. Making connections was the second option in the list that the first page had. So here, I'll show you one way to approach this. I think the first time you read a module, you might as well just click on all the blue buttons and go in the order that the module author designed. That is going to be the most, I think the easiest way to read a module. So we'll go ahead and click on Yayama under the cynocentric order to learn more about this topic. And now you can see here on top when this page loads, it tells us that we're in the pathway from the cynocentric order to the nation-state system, and that there are 6 pages in this pathway. And here we would keep going. This page is not at the beginning of its own pathway, so it doesn't give you a lot of options. It just gives you the next page in the pathway. Same here. Say we read these 2 pages and we thought, okay, I'm going to come back to this later. Now I kind of want to stay at the top level of the module to see what the whole thing is about. So we can click back up here from the cynocentric order to the nation-state system, and that's going to take us to the first page of that pathway. And then we can click one more time up top, Borders and Liminality of the Japanese Empire. That's the module's very first page. And here we are, back at the top level, where we can select a different pathway from this book. So say we wanted to go to Making Connections, the second top level pathway. And so here you can see we're at Making Connections, which is a page in the Borders and Liminality pathway, but it, like the one on the cynocentric order, is also its own pathway that we can dive into. Or we can keep on the top level of pathways and click to continue to the next major pathway, right? The third pathway in this module's 4 major pathways. And then we might click through all of these, and then once we went through all of these pages, we would get prompted to go to the conclusion, which we'll just go to right now. And then when you reach the conclusion of any module, the site will prompt you to head back to the main menu. I want to show you a couple of other features, ways you can navigate around a module. So here we're back at the first page, and you'll see that we have a couple of pieces of text that are highlighted in blue, and they have a little post-it note image next to them. This is called a note, and it means that there's a link here to another page within our book. So I'll click on Borders/Boundaries, and it loads the content of a page that actually Hiroko has written to talk about the concepts of borders and boundaries. You can read the entire content of the page and even see the media here in the pop-up, or you can actually click Go to Note, and it'll take you directly to that page. If you want to go back to where you were, you can see that it says this page is a note in Borders and Liminality of the Japanese Empire. We can go back there. Alternately, another thing you can do is actually go to the media page for a media object that appears anywhere in a module. So here I'll click on the title of that image, and it's going to take me to the media page. And that'll show me where it's been used in the site and who uploaded it, and any kind of rights information that we have available to you. So to get out of this, I'll go ahead and click the X up here. That takes me back to the page that I was on, which is a note. I'll click this link here to take me back to the page that had the note, right? And you see how we could do this with these other notes. You can also, if you decide to look at this first page and you decide you want to go to a different module, you can click on the next module in the series here, or again, you can head back up to the whole list of modules by clicking on this one higher up level pathway. So this is the basic information on how to navigate a module. And if you would like to go back to the Show Me How page that we started on, go ahead up to the menu and click Show Me How. Thank you.